Right then, let's talk about something you see everywhere these days. It's in fancy kitchens, on tele-cooking shows, and even in your local shop. I'm talking about that lovely pink Himalayan salt. It looks absolutely beautiful, doesn't it? Like little pink crystals or rosy gems. You can get it in big chunky bits or ground down nice and fine. But what is it really? Well, it's a type of rock salt, and it gets that stunning color from all the lovely minerals packed inside it. It's not just a pretty face. This stuff has a story that goes back millions of years. It's all natural, straight from the earth, which is what I love about it. That gorgeous pink color is what really makes it stand out from your standard white table salt. It can range from a pale, almost white pink to a deep, vibrant rose color. It all depends on how much of certain minerals, especially iron, are in that particular bit of salt. It's like a little surprise in every crystal. When you see it sitting in a clear grinder on the kitchen counter, it just looks so much more interesting, doesn't it? It makes you want to get in there and start cooking, adding a little sprinkle of this and a dash of that. It's all about making your food look and feel special, even with something as simple as salt. Now, let's have a word about the taste. Some people will tell you it tastes exactly the same as any other salt, but I think it has a little something extra. It's a bit more subtle, a bit milder than the sharp, intense hit you get from regular table salt. It has a cleaner flavor, if you know what I mean. It doesn't have that harsh chemical aftertaste you sometimes get from processed salts. Instead, it's a much more rounded and gentle seasoning. This makes it brilliant for delicate foods like fish or fresh salads, where you don't want the salt to completely take over and bully all the other lovely flavors you've got going on. So, this pink stuff is more than just salt. It's a proper ingredient with character. It brings its own unique look, a slightly different taste, and a brilliant story to your cooking. It's about celebrating natural ingredients and understanding where your food comes from. When you choose to use something like pink Himalayan salt, you're making a choice to add a little bit of rustic charm and natural goodness to your dishes. It's a simple swap that can make your everyday cooking feel a bit more thoughtful and a lot more beautiful. And at the end of the day, that's what good food is all about, isn't it? So where does this magical pink stuff actually come from? Well, it doesn't grow on trees, that's for sure. It comes from deep inside the earth, from a place very far away. Most of the world's pink Himalayan salt is mined in Pakistan, from the Kaira salt mine. This is one of the oldest and biggest salt mines in the world, which is pretty amazing. It's located in the Punjab region, right at the foothills of the Great Himalayan Mountains. These salt beds were formed millions and millions of years ago when ancient oceans dried up, leaving behind these incredible deposits of pure mineral-rich salt. The way they get it out of the ground is fascinating. They don't use massive, destructive machines. A lot of the mining is still done by hand, using traditional methods that have been passed down for generations. Miners go deep into the mountain tunnels and carefully cut out large blocks of the salt. It's hard work, but it means the salt is kept as pure and natural as possible. They are careful not to damage the structure of the mines, which are like huge underground cathedrals made of salt. It's a sustainable way of doing things, making sure this lovely resource will be around for years to come. Once those big blocks are brought out into the sunshine, the real work begins. They are then cleaned, sorted, and broken down into smaller pieces for us to use in our kitchens. Some of it is crushed into fine grains, perfect for a salt shaker. Other bits are left as coarse crystals for grinders, which I love because you get that fresh ground flavor every time. And then you have the big, beautiful slabs of salt. People use these for cooking on, serving food, or even as lamps that give off a lovely, warm glow. It's incredible to think that the salt you sprinkle on your chips started its journey so long ago, deep inside a mountain. The minerals are the real heroes of this story. The salt is packed with them. We're talking about dozens of different trace minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium, and of course, iron. It's the iron that gives the salt its signature pinkish hue. The more iron, the deeper the pink. These minerals are completely natural, locked inside the salt crystals since those ancient seas disappeared. This is what makes it so different from regular table salt, which is often heavily processed and stripped of all these lovely natural extras. You're getting a little bit of ancient history in every pinch. Alright, let's put these two salts head to head in a proper showdown. In one corner, we have your standard everyday white table salt. And in the other corner, we have our beautiful pink Himalayan salt. The biggest difference you'll spot straight away is how they're made. Table salt is usually mined from underground salt deposits too, but then it goes through a lot of processing. It gets refined to remove all other minerals and impurities, leaving behind almost pure sodium chloride. Then anti-caking agents are often added to stop it from clumping up in the shaker. It's a very industrial process, really. Pink salt, on the other hand, is all about keeping it natural. As we've said, it's hand-mined and gets very little processing. This means it keeps all those extra trace minerals that give it its color and I think its flavor, so chemically they are very similar. Both are mostly sodium chloride. That's what makes salt salt. But pink salt has this little bit of extra stuff, this mineral-packed bonus content. It's like the difference between a plain white loaf and a lovely rustic wholemeal bread full of grains and goodness. One is simple and uniform, the other is more complex and natural. When it comes to using them in the kitchen, you can pretty much swap them one for one. A teaspoon of salt is a teaspoon of salt, right? Well, almost. Because pink salt often comes in coarser grains, it might measure a bit differently by volume. A teaspoon of coarse salt will have less sodium than a teaspoon of very fine table salt because there's more air between the crystals. So, if you're watching your salt intake, that's something to keep in mind. But for flavor, just season to your own taste. Use the pink stuff to finish a dish, sprinkling it over at the end so you can see those lovely crystals. So, which one wins the fight? For me, it's not really about one being better than the other in every single way. Table salt does its job perfectly well, and it's cheap and easy to find. But pink salt brings something more to the party. It brings beauty, a great story, and a more natural, less processed vibe to your cooking. I love using ingredients that feel connected to the earth, and this pink salt is a perfect example of that. It's about making a conscious choice to use something a little bit special in your everyday meals. Now for the big question everyone asks, is pink Himalayan salt actually healthier for you? You hear a lot of amazing claims about it. People say it can balance your body's pH, improve your sleep, and all sorts of other things. The truth is, we need to be a bit sensible here. While it's true that pink salt contains extra minerals like magnesium and potassium, the amounts are really tiny. You would have to eat a massive, and I mean dangerously massive, amount of salt to get any significant health benefits from those minerals. So let's be clear, it's not a magic health food. The main component of any salt is sodium chloride, and too much sodium is not good for anyone. It can lead to high blood pressure and other health problems. So, whether you're using pink salt or regular salt, the most important thing is to use it in moderation. A little sprinkle to bring out the flavor of your beautiful ingredients is all you need. The real health benefit of pink salt might be more psychological. Because it feels more special and has a slightly milder taste, you might find you use a little less of it. And using less salt overall is definitely a healthy choice for everyone. So let's get cooking with it. This stuff is brilliant for seasoning meat and fish before you grill or roast them. The coarse crystals stick to the surface and create a fantastic crust. I love to sprinkle it over roasted vegetables like potatoes, carrots, and parsnips, with a good drizzle of olive oil and some fresh rosemary. It's also fantastic for finishing dishes. Imagine a lovely ripe tomato salad, a gooey in the middle chocolate brownie, or even a caramel sauce. A tiny pinch of pink salt sprinkled on top just before you serve will make all those flavors pop. It adds texture and a visual flair that is just brilliant. In the end, pink Himalayan salt is a fantastic ingredient. It's beautiful, it has a great natural story, and it tastes lovely and mild. While it might not be the superfood some people claim it is, it's a wonderful, less processed alternative to regular table salt. Its appeal comes from its purity and its connection to nature. It encourages us to think more about where our food comes from and to enjoy the simple, beautiful things. So, get a grinder, fill it with those gorgeous pink crystals, and start seasoning your food with a little bit of history and a whole lot of love. Lovely jubbly.